Greetings everyone, and Great here for another Age of Empires, not Empires, Advanced Wars, Days of Ruin, Tiny Wars replay. Spawn on the right side as the red Hawke, we get Inconspicuous. Spawn on the left side as the dark gray Snowind, we got RedFlower. Something I immediately want to point out before I forget, both players do now start with a weighted infantry there, so the first one they can't move. I don't remember that being there last time, maybe just something new added to this map, but either way, when it comes to the COs, Hawke is of course technically a custom CO, is a custom CO in Days of Ruin since he's the wrong Advanced Wars game. He has standard boarding cost, 2 radius, 30, 70, 120 maximum energy. He of course gets the plus 20% offense, plus 10% defense. His power Black Wave available at 50 energy, was a little bit cheaper than other CO powers, and he has Black Storm at 100 CO energy. Do note that is above 120, so you can get a bit of an overcharge to get a bit of rebate and keep it going for the next one. But most of the time, I rarely ever see Black Wave, let alone Black Storm, and honestly, since they have the same cost, most of the time you just generally want to go to Black Wave if you're eyeing for the powers and or superpowers. When it comes to Snowind, she is a custom CO, standard boarding cost, a very small radius of 1, 30, 60, 60. When it comes to her abilities, a little bit of a length here. At the beginning of each turn, you get a bit of a Calder effect. Unloading units get 1 health recovery, ammo, and fuel as well at the beginning of your turn. Pretty sure her stuff does cost funds like Calder, but I need to double check that. I always forget. Air units in CO zone gets plus 30% offense and defense. So she's effectively a, the next line. If valid, your first infantry or mech can be deployed adjacent to your CO unit and cannot produce another this turn. Basically allows you to deploy infantry or mech. And since she's also gets a bonus for air units for primarily meant for herself and units around her, she's effectively a paratrooper specialist, if you can imagine that. You can click the description button to view details and skilled explanations. Don't ever see that button there. By the way, she's effectively a CO paratrooper, as I mentioned. She's meant to be loaded up an air unit and paradrop in some infantry and mechs. So if you enjoy playing mechs, Snowind's generally your option. She's definitely received some nerfs over time, because I remember beforehand it was all units get plus 30, which is a little bit overpowered. Either way, when it comes to her, she both have a power and superpower. Of course, all units get 1 health recovery, as well as replenish ammo and fuel, but not material like Grey Field. All air units get plus 30. Launch a 3-range missile that deals 5 damage to a unit. So in other words, not necessarily, it's a little wider missile than a. It is wider than a. It's effectively a black bomb. Yeah, the best way to put it. It is a free black bomb deployment, if that's the best way to describe it. I know she's seen a bit of rework. I don't remember actually having this, but she has a targetable black bomb. And let's see. If valid, all air units of ground units can be forward deployed and nearest vacant file next to your CO unit, and unweighted, so you get to ambush spawn around your unit. And of course those structures cannot produce next turn. So you can forward deploy entire army unweighted. Have fun with that. Yeah, she definitely received a bit of rework. She was a bit of time overpowered, then she got nerfed, and I think overall she did just outright get a little bit of a rework going, if I remember correctly. I don't really keep up with all the changes. By the way, let's go ahead and get started. This map is a fog of war map. You got a first spike there, so you have 3,000 income to start with. So both players can immediately get out a bike, and looks like got a bit of a different problem there. You can see the production symbol there, it means that's not her superpower. She can forward deploy 1 unit. Oh, she's Snowind, not Scared Metal. Ha ha ha. But you already do see a bit of different capture order. She may be trying. She has plus 30 offense and defense. I wonder if she's going to try to charge out a T-copter and paratrooper units in. It is a transport copter. She's effectively also a I always call her paratrooper. If somebody disagrees with me, is that an incorrect way to view her as a paratrooper CO since she can forward deploy infantry and mechs? I don't know if anybody else describes her as that. Then again, don't really go look in the Discord forums of how to describe her. Bike infantry. She has 7,000 income, so she could go for T-Copter next turn. That's still just in the theoretical idea at this point in time. It's probably still best if she gets loaded to a battlecopter, though Duster's not entirely half bad idea as well. Hawke is of course a good generalist CO. All units get plus 20, plus 10, and a decent radius. Not a small radius, not a large radius, just a decent radius of 2. Oops, sorry, hit my microphone. And we do have a recon deployed in field. She can always be loaded up into a ground unit as well, and 4 deployed units there. So she can also be viewed as a summoner. Triple infantry there, so Hawke does sort of bit of 2,000 funds there. Maybe iron for a tank next turn. You will have 9,000 funds, so not enough for a tank. It would be a tank, infantry, and base skip then. Oh, Snowind loads herself up into a infantry unit there. Good, which is not a bad idea. It's a cheap way to get forward infantry deployed quite quickly. You can see this one got the no production symbol there, which forward deployed this one. And if she just wants to get rid of the unit, deleting a CO infantry unit is not too terribly expensive, and the momentum gain can be quite significant, particularly trying to get mechs into some forests and do some ambush spawns. So Hawke did go for a tank infantry base skip. And Snowind will capture this compound. Remember as well, you should always try to capture first before moving units around, because you never know if there's a engagement that you forgot about. You have now have a 4 deployed mech ready for a bit of ambushing and become bush. T-Copter was deployed in the field, maybe on drop off the entry in there, then she can move to the HQ, get CO'd, or back to the airport. Hawke loads himself on a tank, nice reliable option. Battlecopter, and probably triple infantry. There's a 4 deployed infantry. That was a good trap there. And looks like Snowind will get the capture on that city first, but likely she will go onto Pacific City and fire upon the infantry unit. That's probably what I would do. Anti-air infantry recon, not a bad idea. It's always a good idea to go from relatively early anti-air. Got nice 10 energy there. Battlecopter heading down south for the winter. First strike there on the infantry there. Both players do have a comm tower. Recon gets a nice strike there. Got tank, artillery, and 4 deployed. I think it was a mech. Oh, nice shot there. I forgot. Cities have 2 defense stars in Days of Ruin. I mentioned Hawke's tank is pretty well powered up. The fact that cities have 2 defense stars is probably one of the bigger changes in Days of Ruin, honestly. At least when it comes to terrain typing. Because now forests and cities got inverted defense stars, making them strategically different. But granted, cities can also hide units now, which does give them a lot more utility. While forests still now offer a bit more advantage in defense, thanks to that as well. Does get a good strike there, as well as there. 15 energy so far versus 17. Hawke is be careful with his tank. He could push down south. This is the base is up there. He's probably pretty safe to setting tank down south to avoid any sort of conflict or any ambush. This is to say this battlecopter is somewhat close by. Yep, I do like that direction for the tank there. Then again, there's a lot of mechs, so maybe not a great spot. Though he does have a good escort infantry there, getting a lot of good damage done. 36 energy, so he does get pulse wound radius now. But Snowind now has a lot of targets in front of her. A target-rich environment, if you will. Does get a bit of resupply there. I wonder if that actually... Here, if you give me a moment. Okay, goes from 2 health at 18,000 or 1,800. 2,200. Actually, no. Looks like her +1 health regen does not consume any funds there. So that is completely free. It is a pretty small radius. Unless it was both infantry and mech that both added up there together and made it even. No, she had 1,800, went to 22, so... Yep, it looks like it does not consume any funds. I'd assume it did cost funds, but it looks like it does not. Does full deploy mech, tank, infantry, and battlecopter. A lot of targets in front of Hawke. Does get in the range of the artillery there, so here's gonna go get pounded. Will allow free reign of this battlecopter as well, so Snow's gonna have a great time next turn. Able to knock out the anti-air like this and allows the battlecopter to just reign supreme is massively beneficial to Snowind. Right now, with the amount of stuff that's in front of her, I think regular infantry better than mechs at the moment. Be cheaper and able to traverse the ground a little bit easier. Of course, a lot of that stuff's out of vision range. Does not go to capture there. Does go to capture there. Number of mechs over here. And the artillery gets knocked out. Anti-air takes out anti-air. Massive gains there. And the bike can go ahead and interrupt the capture while at it. Right now, Snowind has 23,000 for 16. Holy crap. That is a big income difference. She's won north and south terrains. That is quite massive, and does delete her CO unit to be reloaded into a bomber. Oh god. Not only the bomber gets supercharged, it will also be able to paradrop an infantry, so its bomb bay doors will drop ordnance as well as mobile ordnance. Great shots there. Could take time to try to... Does pull back the tank there. Pops a black wave there. That's going to be quite useful. We'll get a lot of global damage. Not managed to get additional firepower. As well as health regen. There's a battlecopter that's surrounded, at least from this side. Does seal the bomber there, so now it has what, plus 50 firepower with the comm tower. It's 55. Does take the mechs there. Could have merged the 9 health mech with the 1 health mech. Make it even. Right now it's odd. Both of them are odd. And as well as unnatural. Rather good shots over there. And with that, the helicopter there, it will full deploy right there. Infantry, anti-air, flare, and of course base forward deployed. Hawke's command taking forward gets a good shot there. Has 33 energy, pretty close to power. 49 energy, and now he has enough energy for a power. Thanks to the X ability to store extra energy, he's able to chain a lot of powers together, honestly. This bomber is probably in range of Hawke's command take if it gets an opening. But that's a little bit easier said than done. There's a lot of entry here by Hawke. Hawke is still 16,000 versus 23,000. Income difference is massive. Nukes that infantry unit there. Battlecraft gets a good strike there as well. Boosted by the aura. Battlecopter, tank, infantry, and 4 deployed mech. Hawke's tank is going for extra power charge. That's probably a good idea. I always forget that you have to actually think about with that as Hawke in this game. Gets my power charge before popping it. And maybe we'll get a Black Storm, which would be quite useful. 2 blacks in rather short time. Yep. The bomber did get struck, and I think this will... I want to double check the self-repair aspect. I think it is free, which should affect this bomber, her own bomber. Let's see, we're now 923,000 income, so if she gets full income, be 23. No, there's actually a lot of repairs there. Hard to calculate, honestly. Good shots there. She's also got quite a bit of energy now stored up, and War +1 radius is actually very important when it comes to these small radiuses. It really grants quite a bit of firepower, but then again, it just only affects air units. The helicopter does need to move out of that region in order to allow the forward deployment right there. Mech, very nice. This helicopter will have a 30% additional defense, double tank there. Hawke almost will not get another black wave this turn, or at least able to pull it out. Nothing in CO radius. Duster's definitely a good choice. If that's the case, focusing down the visible anti-air will be very important. Because if he knocks out the visible anti-air, his Duster will provide air superiority. Additionally, there's 2 reserve anti-airs as well. Anti-air, mech, so got a good reserve anti-air. And here's the thing as well, anti-air is of course best known for, well, being anti-air, take out all aircraft units. But Snowind, who's also aircraft focused for CO stuff, is also infantry focused with the forward deployment, which anti-airs will also do quite well. So heavy anti-air composition against Snowind is a good idea since she's incentivized to deploy out a unusually large amounts of infantry. You probably won't see triple tank from her all too often, for example. And yeah, and that's it. That bomber definitely sortied too close. And now we'll get peppered by quite a bit anti-air right now. Does have enough for a superpower at the moment, as well as our power. So the black bomb needs to be interrupted. This bomber has to be taken down this turn. Duster can take out the battlecopter, or at least should be able to. Tanks can double tap the mech, then the anti-airs can double tap the bomber. In short, yeah, really need to stop the superpower. Hawke's command tank is out of radius there, so no chance for popping a power this turn, but can get quite a bit of power charges, so Hawke should move his tank first, and perhaps on and hit the flare. Duster could hit the... yeah, we'll be able to take the battlecopter. Infantry, good actually move there, let the infantry unit push forward to get a bit of recon pass there. I think the tank... yeah, actually not push forward right there. It's probably a safe call. He knows that the fact there's an artillery someone here, and that would be in range, so... yeah, don't attack the flare with the tank. Just get power charge with it. Now the ATR should be able to take out the bomber. Yes, 56 each. It stops Snowwind's superpower, or power. Hawke gets 71 energy, has enough power charge for a third black wave, but he is still significantly behind income. So he does have more forces in the field, and Snowind actually has quite a bit of funds in the bank as well. She can deploy out some heavy assets. Does strike the... oh! Now I think I know why. She saved up her money trying to pop her power for the unweighted... the superpower for the unweighted units for ambush spawn. Hawke taking out that bomber was even more important than I expected. She was going for a power play. Now she has to spend that monies on a bomber. Anti-airs got hit pretty hard, but Hawke does have 2 reserve anti-airs. Artillery, infantry, and tank. There's a fair number of tanks inside the map. Hawke can pop his power, but it'd be a good idea to get as much power charge beforehand at that point, since his units in a CO zone will retain the same amount of firepower as without of it. I still think it's a good idea for Hawke for his Black Wave. Just, he could wait till next turn to pop the Black Wave. And Duster can get these wound units can of course be restored by the power. Pops the power, and he had 50 energy. He could have blocked the Black Storm. He went for Black Wave instead. So he's going to try to play eye for a chain of turns of Black Wave and just cause lots of issues. And of course, you can see that Snowind put all of our units on top of cities there, not only to keep them garrisoned, but also get resupply there. Now she will have to weather another Black Wave, or to keep them there once again. So overall, the Black Wave was a significantly better idea than Black Storm. She does go ahead and reload her bomber once again, and does put the battlecopter there. Oh, that will make it so no infantry unit gets deployed right there, right? It of course gets some nice health percentage there. Triple infantry, and she's down to 5,000. Oh yeah, the CO and the bomber itself with all the global repairs ate a lot, didn't it? Next turn, we'll keep an eye on the global repairs there, and how many units are wounded? Never mind. Oh, does get trapped by the 1 health infantry unit on the mountain. Just an angry man shouting at the sky, and wins. Takes up the mech there. We got a good combat force, start playing some properties down south. And Hawke is ahead in the Valley Wise as well, even though he has significantly less income. He has a nice core of tanks that are all at full health as well, and anti-airs in reserve. Hawke is a good force there. And he held on to his power, so he's going to try to keep the global firepower bonus just in case. Not a bad idea. Oh, sorry, I just saw some comments. Snow moment. Can't imagine Hawke going, there's no snow, only darkness. Hawke's turn. Duster gets a recon pass, spots the tank there, and getting pretty low on fuel as well as health, so needs either send it back to the airport or get out rig or let it crash. Recon pass there, trying to spot all the forests. They're indeed back filled with trees, but nothing else. Anti-air infantry recon. This is quite a bit of force there. Good shots there. Hawke could send his command tank up north just to get some power charge there and a safe part of the map rather than this not so safe part. Hawke does have 2 anti-airs here, Overall, with all the infantry and aircraft, Dusters would be a decent item as well as anti-airs. Duster has 23 fuel remaining. Does get a nice little shot there. A couple of targets. Goes that one there, and there we go. Has a very nice amount of energy. Mech, tank. Stop that unit there. Artillery gets a recon pass, which is not usually its job. Bomber, Snowind bomber gets a good strike there. Getting some power charge going. Takes up both those anti-airs. There's a bit of a problem. That's Hawke's only anti-airs. They got revealed and destroyed very quickly. Hawke may need to get a fighter or duster quickly over here for air superiority. He has 18,000 income, so fighter's definitely out of the option. Even duster is expensive. And as long as the game goes on, better than Snowind's position, since she does have higher income. We've got the rockets and artillery, and mech didn't get forward deployed. No useful landing spot there. Probably should not put the T-copter there. Also heading back to the airport, down to 10 fuel. I think Hawke needs to go for Duster. Oops, Duster and 4 anti-airs over this region. There's a lot of threats over there. Dusters would be a safe deployment option. Hawke heading up north. Of course, got a Vet2 tank there, getting a lot of power charge, 96. Could have hit the full health and should get that more power charge, honestly. Battlecopter in the region. Of course, be careful with it. The anti-air is somewhat close by. 99 energy. Good chance Hawke well, a Black Storm. That could be a great way to slow down Savannah's, at least severely wounded. Oh, unit got sacked there. And sacked there to deny power charge. Very good. Got another power charge. A single power charge. Got double anti-air. Snowind has 30 energy. Hawke just needs to make sure it doesn't leave any units within this radius, adjacent to this radius, in order to prevent any additional power generation. As he knows he has no way to really counter the bomber at the moment. I think somebody got deleting some stuff there to deny power charge. Very nice. Hawke has a nice 99 and does manage to pull everything back out of there to prevent any additional power charge. Very good. We got a war tank to stabilize this region. Infantry, and we know this mech got forward deployed down south. And both players trying to flip the comm towers. Yep. When I say sack it, I mean any way to just get rid of it for advantage. Black Wave some, he's going into the power radius. Snowind can get her superpower next turn. That's probably not a good idea. It will have to sack the turn the bomber. She only needs 21 energy. And there's more than 21 health here. Get some good damage done. Problem is, it could be a black bomb. It could be the... Let's see. Black bomb or forward deployment. Forward deployment would have its advantages. And over here, black bomb. Not enough vision to spot everything. But black bomb, it says 3 radius. So if you target right here, it will literally hit everything in this diagonal. It will hit up the infantry and all the way down to here. Oh, she does use her turn there, so no superpower this turn by Snowind. And there's a lot of anti-airs there. I don't think it's a good idea to do that. I think it was a good idea to not leave her bomber so exposed. The bomber will need to be double tapped. Hawke will likely... Oh, no, that was a bad idea. Pushing units forward like this will give Hawke power. then again, it is Fog of War. Because if we, yeah, in Advanced Wars by Web, does it show? No. Oh, either way. Actually, no, looks like she was just outside of radius, so no chance for a power for Hawke. Oh, and Hawke resigns. Darn. As Angrade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.